So after you are finished with your test tomorrow, I am going to give you your exam review. Let's be clear about something. Even those of you who are taking the exam are expected to do the review, right? Because you are still in class. This isn't a study hall review. You are still going to learn math. However, you don't have to take the exam on exam day. It's not going to help you. It's not going to hurt you one bit to review it. So, let's get our practice test out. I fix my attendance.
It's done. I'm just gonna put it like around. The effort cues are bad. Yeah, I wouldn't buy them. The effort cues are bad. I'm at the thing that did this way. It's done.
Yeah, that's a great attitude.
All right, friends, so we are on. We are ready for
3 hours.
We're still on practice test 2, and we are doing problem number E and F. E and F are skipped for you guys. You are not responsible for the hyperbola because you have so few more. The other classes don't take their exam until Thursday, so I have these extra days with them that I don't have with you. So, and I'm kind of bummed because you're my favorite class. I wish I could stay with you more, but next Monday is it, folks? Next Monday, we're cutting the cord. All right, unless you fail and then you have to come to summer school. All right, G. We're on practice test 2, 1G. We are writing the equation of a parabola. You must remember this. But if you forget, look at problem number 3. On the same practice test, look at problem number 3. That is a hyperbola. That is the way your equation needs to look, okay? So if you forget, you can always look at your test, find the problem, it's the parabola, and write your equation that way. All right, but what do we know? We got a vertex at 6, -1. And we have a focus, this is my vertex, and I have a focus at -4, -1. Does everybody still have your graph paper from the other day? All right, might help you with that out, might not, but you can put that out there. This is your vertex, and this is your focus. From that, you should be able to tell me which way my parabola opens. Left. The focus is to the left of the vertex, so it's going to look like this. Nobody's grading your graph. It opens like that. Now, what does that tell me about my equation? Which letter is squared? Y. Remember that little chart I kept putting in the middle of the board and I said, you need to memorize this? You do. You need to memorize that. X squared is left and right. I mean, X squared is up and down. Y squared is left and right. Because this is left, whatever that number is will be negative. Now, I know my vertex. My vertex is like my center. My vertex goes into my equation. So x -6, y + 1. There we go. This number right here, this distance right here, from my vertex to my focus is called P. So what is P in this problem? What is that distance? 10? So if P is 10, this number has to be 40 because that number is always 4P. That number is 4P. So if P is 10, then 4P is 40. And there we are. Another parabola. focus at 1, 5. That now is your focus. That is not going into the parentheses. What goes into the parentheses? Vertex. Okay? And a directrix at x equals 3. I guess that doesn't need that. Now again, we need to figure out which way it opens, because that's kind of the key to getting this equation started. So if that's your focus, and that's your directrix, which way does this have to open? Gotta open left again. Remember, it's never, ever, ever gonna touch its directrix. Can't touch its directrix. It opens away from its directrix. Since it opens left, which letter is squared? Y. And that number will again be negative. Now, I don't know, do not plug any numbers in here yet. This is the point right here, look where I'm pointing. That's the point it's gonna go in. So you need to figure out what that point is first, okay? Well, what's one thing you know about it? It's on the 5, y is gonna be 5, right? And what's the x gonna be? Well, this x is 1, that x is 3, and I need to be right in the middle. So obviously that's gonna be a 2. Now you can plug that point into your equation. Be careful, that's why. 3 gets 5, x gets 2. You alright?
No,
What happened?
my eyes are swollen, so I have to ice them.
For allergies or something, or what?
I don't know, I woke up like this.
Well, I hope it's not spreading.
Me too.
Yeah. She said you could come to class?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only thing left to figure out is this number. I know it's negative. Remember, that number is always 4p. And this is p. So how far is p this time? 1. So 4p is 4. Alrighty. Number 2. We're waiting for 3 or number 2. Alright, so problem 1 was all write the equation. You only have to do 3 of those. You have to do a circle, an ellipse, and a parabola. Alright? Then we start in with 4 more problems, but you only need to do 3 of them. Okay? Your whole test is only going to have 6 problems on it. Okay? Because you're going to write an equation of your 3, and then I'm going to give you your 3, and you're going to find all the stuff for it. So you need to find the center and the radius of this circle. Alright, so what do? We're going to find the center and the radius of this circle. Put the x's together, the y's together, and move the 1, but it's already moved, so I don't need to worry about it. Move it to the other side. Okay, guys, it's time to make this make sense now, because tomorrow's test day. So we got that? All right, so now we're going to fill in the blanks. How do we fill in the blanks? Half of 4 is 2 squared is 4, both sides. Look at me, both sides, okay? Half of 6 is 3 squared is 9, both sides. This is a perfect square. That's going to give me my center, along with this one. What's the perfect square I got here? X minus 2 and y plus 3, 14. So what is my center? All you need is the center and the radius. Your center is 2, -3, and your radius is the square root of 14. All right, question 3. You've got a parabola. You need to find those things. Okay, so here we go. Where you don't have to draw the picture, although you will have a grid. I didn't put it on here, but you will have a grid if you need to graph it. Where is my vertex? -3, -1. I can't emphasize that enough. What happens, Nora, if you don't get your vertex in the right spot? The whole thing's messed up. Right, we gotta get our center, our vertex correct. Remember, when you write an ordered pair, it's always x, comma, y. It doesn't matter how the equation's written, it's x, comma, y. Got it, people? All right, which way do I open? Look what you got here. Which way you open? Up. So in the vertex blank, over here, in the vertex blank, you're gonna put that point. That is the vertex. Now the next thing, well, let's just skip down. What's the focal width? Let's fill in the FW blank. The focal width is 8. We're not gonna miss that, it's right there. That's the focal width. If it happens to be negative, forget the negative, it's just 8. All right, just 8 for the focal width, positive. All right, now we need your focus, which is going to be on the axis of symmetry somewhere, and your directrix, which is down here somewhere. In order to find those, you need to know P. Well, we're going backwards from before. Now we have our number. We know that number is 4P. That number is always 4P. So 4P is 8, P is 2. So you're going to start at your vertex, you're on your graph paper, you're going to go straight up 2 blocks. Well, where are you if you go straight up 2 blocks? -3, +1, so that's what goes in the focus blank. -3, +1. And if you march up 2 blocks for your focus, you're going to go down 2 for your directrix. Your directrix is a line. I know if you come down 2, you're at -3, -3. I get that, but the equation of the line would be y equals -3. Okay, so if you want full credit, you gotta have the equation, y equals -3. All right, number 4. What shape is number 4? Ellipse. Now we have an ellipse. Look at all those blanks you have to fill in. Now, on the test, if they're ordered pairs, I will have parentheses set up for you. So you will see, for this problem, there are 4 vertices, so you need to have 4 ordered pairs written. There are 2 foci, so you have 2 ordered pairs written. These will not have ordered pairs because they're not ordered pairs, they are just plain numbers. Okay? So here we go. Where's my center? 2, -1. Center is at 2, -1. That's exactly right. So there I am, 2, -1. That goes right here, 2, -1. That's your center. Now, how do I find my vertices? I look at my denominators, and what do my denominators tell me? I'm going to count sideways, 2, and up and down 3. So sideways 2, up and down 3. Now you guys, you have to write down these points over here in the answer blanks. There's 4 of them, and you have to write them down whatever order you want. So take a minute, make sure you can figure out, if you just counted, look at your graph, using your graph paper I gave you last time if you want. Or you can do it like I am, just by counting. And where are those vertices? These are called your vertices.
0, -1.
So what'd you get?
0, -1.
0, -1 sounds good.
2, 2.
4, -1 sounds great. These are these two, right? Right now we need these two, so it'll be 2, 2, 2, and 2, -4. Beautiful. Those are your vertices. Alright, how long's your major axis? You just counted it. You went up and down 3, so it's a total of 6. Now, some of you are putting 3 here. 3 is how many you count up and down. That actually is called your semi-major axis. We want the major axis, so it is 6. The minor axis is 4. Now we need our foci. Remember that in an ellipse, foci are always located on the major axis. So they're here somewhere. To get them, I am going to start at the center and count up and down a certain amount, right? Now, if I am counting up and down, which letter is not going to change? X. So whatever my foci are, the X is going to be, no, the X is 2. Now the Y is going to start at -1, and I'm going to add and subtract from -1, because that's my center. Up from -1 and down from -1. Now how much am I going up and down in this problem? Square root of 5. Center to focus in this problem is the square root of 5. How do we get that number? Subtract our denominators and take the square root. So this is going to be -1 plus root 5 and -1 minus root 5. Problem 5 is skipped. 5 is skipped, so we're ready for practice test 3, and we're going to do it all over again. Now, on practice test 3, see how I set up the parentheses for you? This is how it's going to look on test 3. Some of the versions of the test are like this on graph paper. So you can set up your own grid or not. Remember, I'm not grading your graph, but you have graph paper here to use if you wish. The other version of the test is like the notes were. I have pasted a little grid, like one of these, I pasted on there. So no matter which version you get, you're gonna have graph paper to draw or not draw. That's up to you. Okay, now, problem number 1, you're not responsible for. That's a hyperbola, so you can just mark that off. Question number 2 is a circle. If you didn't recognize that, you're lucky, because what did I ask you for? Center and radius. So even if you didn't know that was a circle, you know it is because it has a center and a radius, right? So you know what to do. We just did one. go ahead, get this thing into standard form. This is what you're going to have to do tomorrow. Fix my pens here before they wonder where you put each one. All right, we good? What'd you put in your X blank? What'd you put here? 16, perfect. What'd you put in this one? 1, very good. Why did you put 1 there? Because half of 2 is 1 and 1 squared is 1. So, what squares did you have? This was X minus 4, minus 4. This one was Y plus 1. And it all equaled 13. So what did you say your center was? 4, negative 1, and your radius is? 13, there you go. There you go. And we literally, I'm erasing it right now, we just did one of these two all right, what's the center? -2, -5. One center, there it is, right there, top blank, -2, -5. How about your vertices? We got 4 of them. Order doesn't matter, just find all 4. So how are you gonna find a couple of them? You're gonna count sideways, 4. So sideways 4. And you have graph paper. Right here, this is graph paper, you can just count them. Sideways 4. Where's that gonna put you if you go sideways 4? 2, -5, and -6, -5, very good. So 2, -5, and -6, -5. I swear, if one person tells me this is hard, I'm gonna smack you. This is counting, right? We're just counting. Okay, now what does the 25 tell me? Up and down 5. So we're gonna have straight up 5 and straight down 5. All right, so what are those 2 points? These are my other 2 vertices. So that's -2, 0, -2, -10, yep. My ellipse does not look very good, but there it is. Remember, regardless of what my picture looks like, I counted back and forth 4 and up and down 5. So isn't this my major axis? How long is it? I went up and down 5,
10.
so it's 10. My minor axis, I went sideways 4, so it's 8. My foci are on the major axis, so there they are. Now keep in mind, guys, they're on the major axis. So I'm gonna start at my center and go up and down a certain amount. If I'm going up and down only, what is not changing? X. So my X is gonna be -2 for my focus points. These guys right here, these black points are -2 comma something. Now the something is going to be -5 plus a number and -5 minus a number. What is that number in this problem? This is the first time this has happened, I think. Did it come out to be 3? So that means I'm going to go up 3 and down 3. So we need to simplify that. So that focus is -2 comma -2, and that one is -2 comma -8. We haven't had to simplify because we have never gotten a number. We've always gotten like √5. So we had to leave it as, you know, something plus √5. This was an actual number, so I can actually add it, a whole number, I mean, an integer. All right, and that's it for that problem. Number 4. We have our handy dandy parabola. Oh my gosh. Is this another left? I didn't do a good job with my 80, that's for sure. Okay, so here we go, we're opening left. Where's our vertex? -1, 4. Very, very good. That's our vertex. And we open left. We open left because we are a y² negative. So vertex is -1, 4. What's my focal width? 16. You can fill that blank in, 16. Now I need my focus, which is going to be right in here, somewhere. In order to figure out my focus, I'm going to back up P. And since 4P is 16, I'm gonna back up 4. So if I back up 4, which coordinate's going to change? Let's look at it. Look at coming off on the graph paper. Aren't we going to be -5 comma -4? Wait, -4. That should be +4. -1, 4. So I'm going to back up 4. So I'm at -5, 4 for my focus. And then if I go forward 4, x equals 3 is your directrix. Yep. However much you went backwards, you need to go the same amount forwards. Okay, so we just did 3 problems where I gave you the equations and you found stuff, vertex and all that. Now we're going to do 3 problems where I give you the info and you give me the equation. So for problem 5, we have a diameter with endpoints at -2, 4, and 6, 10. And you are going to write the equation of the circle, right? And that's going to look like this. You're going to have an x² plus a y² equal to a number. That number is going to be r². So what do? We gotta find our center, we'll find the average. I heard people saying -2 plus 6, which is 4, divided by 2 is 2. I just found the average. Like you've been doing since you were a little kid. You just add them up and divide by 2. Then I'll do the same thing with my y's. 4 and 10 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So in my equation, since that's my center, x minus 2, y minus 7, right? Now I need my radius. Right here is a radius. That is a radius, so is this. I'm going to use my distance formula, which is that radical, to find that distance that is my radius. So I'm going to subtract my x's and square, subtract my y's and square, and see what I come up with. So what have I got? 6 minus 2 squared is 16. Oh my goodness. Did you get 5? Mm-hmm. So if the radius is 5, then this number right here is going to be 25, because that number is always r squared. X squared, y squared, r squared. All right, now we have an ellipse, so I'm shooting for this. So I got my graph paper right here. So I'm going to plot 2, 9. And I'm going to plot 2, -3. And that is my major axis. Okay? Now I'll plot 0, 3 and 4, 3. And that is my minor axis. You can tell from your picture, where do they cross? What point do they cross at? They cross at 2, 3. So where's my center? 2, 3. So 2, 3. You could also find 2, 3 by doing the midpoint thing, the average. If you're graphing, you can just see it, it's right there. 2, 3. Now, how far, this is 2, 3, and this is 4, 3. How far sideways did I go from my center? 2, which means under x is 4. How far up and down did I go from my center? Which means under y is 36. One more problem. We're doing 7, we're not doing 8. You guys are exempt from 8. Other classes will have to do that, but not you. All right, so here we go, number 7. I have a parabola. All right, so my equation is going to look like this. And again, if I forget what a parabola looks like, I can just turn back and look at problem number 4. That's a parabola. So that's what my equation needs to look like. I have a focus at -3, 7. Oh my gosh, and a directrix at x equals 5. Why am I saying, oh my gosh? It's left again. This parabola opens left. So, something like this. Here's my vertex. Remember, that's the point that goes in the equation. The vertex goes in the equation. Now, because it opens left, I know y is squared and that number is negative. Now, I really can't do anything else until I find my vertex. So what can you tell me about that point right there? Isn't y 7? You've got the graph paper, isn't the y 7 to that point? And then what do we know about the x? It's in the middle of -3 and 5. So -3 plus 5 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. So that's the point 1, 7. How do I find the middle? I average. Guys, average. Add them up and divide by 2. Now that's my vertex. So x is going to get the 1, y is going to get the 7. How far is it from focus to vertex? That's called P. That is 4. So if P is 4, then 4P is -16. And that's it. Okay? All right, so that's it. Practice test is over. So now, how do you feel about me putting a problem on the board? And 1 or 2 of you coming up to do it and the rest of you doing it at your seats? Do you feel like that would be a productive way to review? Because we're not just going to sit around and chat. Okay? All right, so let me put one up here.
It's not a hickey.
Here we go. I need somebody to come up and put this on the board. I need the rest of you to get out a sheet of paper and do it along with Lincoln. The good news is I only have 6 problems. The bad news is I only have 6 problems. Because if you miss one, that would kind of some trouble. Let's make sure we know how to do these 6.
If we get one, we get one. Okay. How do you work going that way?
Guys, by the way, I am not grading your graph, okay? I told you that over and over again. I'm just looking at Lincoln's work back here. Lincoln knows what he's doing, so he's fine. But he's not showing any work, he's not drawing a graph. And here's what happens, if you don't show anything, if you miss something, I cannot give you partial credit, because I don't know what you did, okay? So, I think it behooves you to put something down, so that in case you get your vertex turned around or something, I can see what you did and give you partial credit. Okay, do we have it down, or what do we think about Lincoln's work? That's okay. What do we think about Lincoln's work? Anybody want to ask him a question, or anybody want to argue with him, or? I think he's perfect. His vertex is a 3, -2. P is 2, so he came down 2 to put his focus, up 2 to put his directrix. He had a positive eight though, right? So he is absolutely perfect. Alright, good job. Now I need another volunteer. This time we'll do an ellipse. And we will find the center, vertices, both sides. All right, here we go. I need volunteer. Let's go.
The distance between
Here comes Solomon.
vertex and the focus, and also the vertex and the director. 4P equals 8, so 4 divided by 8 would be P equals 2, and 4 divided by any of the numbers in that place for that problem is get your answer. Are you doing this? Charlie Marsh, are you doing this? Now I am.
Charlie, you're a really good drummer. Why are you a good drummer? Because you practice. Okay, let's practice now. So you can be really, really good at that. test for AP tomorrow? Okay, so did we talk about, you need to get it done, so you can either come on Wednesday morning or Wednesday after school.
Oh, can I go Wednesday after school?
Yeah, I don't care which one, but you know.
I have another one.
You have tested both days, so you're gonna do it Thursday?
Thursday after school.
Okay, it can't be any later than that, Jim, okay? You should be here. All right, my friends, let's see what he's got. He said 14 and 8, what about you? For your axes? He said his foci were, uh-oh, I didn't match that. Oh, Solomon. See, this is why showing your work is absolutely critical. Because we can see exactly what he did, right? What is 49 minus 16? 33. 33. So he made a careless arithmetic mistake that's gonna cost him significant points. Remember, there aren't very many points on the test. These are gonna be wrong, but I can see exactly what he did. So instead of this being wrong, it's gonna be minus an 8 because he made an arithmetic mistake. So what should these be? See, he showed his work, so important. So what should those points be? First of all, was he right? I erased it. But was he right that they were 3 comma? Yeah. And then he's starting at -2, and he's gonna go up and down from -2, right? So, how far up and down is he going? What did you say that was? The square root of 33. So we're gonna start at -2 and go up root 33 and go down root 33. Because in an ellipse, how do you find the distance from the center to the focus, center to focus? You subtract the denominators and take the square root.
Are you also gonna take our graph papers? Do we have work on there, or does it all have to be?
It's all on the test. The graph paper's on the test.
Oh.
You don't need separate graph paper. It's on the test. Okay. All right, let's see. We have time for one more. Let's say I have a circle, and the endpoints of the diameter are 5, 4, and -7, 6. Write the equation of the circle.
You come up and do it.
Hey, I need somebody to come up and do it. Yeah, we have 5 minutes, let's get this done. Write the equation of the circle. Given. at -1,5? Yep. So he said x plus 1 squared, y minus 5 squared, that's perfect. Again, I'm glad we showed some work here.
Oh, wait, no, that's not.
You did.
Yeah.
Because you did -7 minus -1, that is correct. You made that a plus,
So it's -6.
it should be -6, and -6 squared is 36, plus 1 is 37, so this number should be a 37. You guys see the value of showing your work? Because both of these guys would have ended up missing, I mean, that's only 6 questions, is gonna knock you down big time. But if you show your work, I can give you what you've done right. I hope you